What's up, fam? CJ here, aka Uncle Paw. Hey, we still got a good one going on. This is Pasta Night, a 4-part series, so don't go nowhere. This is Uncle Paw's Kitchen. Welcome back, fam. All right, like I said, we're doing Pasta Night, a 4-part series, and this is number 4. All right, and it is homemade pasta noodles. Very simple. So, what we're gonna start with, we have 2 cups of flour. We're using all-purpose flour. You can use semolina flour, you can use a double O flour, which is the best, but it's a little bit hard to find. So we'll go with something that is easily accessible to most people. All right, with that, we got a half a teaspoon of salt and then 3 large eggs. We're gonna put it all together. We got another cup of flour sitting here. We're gonna use that when we need and roll our dough. All right, then I have some olive oil. Once we need it and roll it, we're gonna wrap it up in some plastic wrap, but we're gonna coat it with some olive oil. All right, and then let it sit in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. And then we'll pull it out and cut it and roll it and make our pasta. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we got our 2 cups of flour and our teaspoon of salt. Go ahead and put our salt in there. Go ahead and get our trash. All right, so we'll go ahead and sift our flour. Old school right here. And all this does is just break it up, make sure there's no lumps. All right, so when we're getting ready to do our mixture right here, we want to make sure we create a well. And that's what we're going to crack our eggs into. All right, and once we get our eggs cracked, well, first we want to break up our eggs, the yolk. Just kind of poke them and lift them up a little bit. The yolks are broke. Now we want to go ahead and just kind of just move the fork around, and we're going to just gently incorporate the flour as we're whisking our fork around. We're not trying to just dump the flour in there and anything like that. We just want to gently, just lightly whisk our fork around. I don't want you to seem like you got it incorporated. I'm going to go ahead and clean off our fork. And then we're about to get our hands dirty. Get our scraper and get some of that stuck at the bottom. All right. We got that. There's some flour still left out. Kind of just spread it around a little bit. Still a little sticky. Should get some of that flour didn't get incorporated. All right, now comes the exercise part. And we'll transfer it over here, but we're gonna put down some flour first. Put down some flour on top. And like I said, this is the exercise part where we're gonna just knead it, kind of roll and fold. Roll, fold, roll, fold. All right, so just roll and fold. Roll and fold. And just roll and fold. And basically what we're doing is we're taking the outside and putting it on the inside. That's what we're doing. It takes a little bit to get used to at first. To get used to rolling dough. Fold. And I do a roll back. Fold. And we're gonna do this for a good 10 maybe 15 minutes. What we're looking for is we want the dough to be spongy and like a little spring back. So when we push it, when we push down into it, we want it to spring back, you know, and not just sit there like right here. As I push down, and you can see it still has the hole in it. So we got a ways to go. All right. Let's see here. All right, bounce back. So what we'll do, go ahead and put the olive oil on it. That's about a tablespoon of olive oil. Just give a little coat all around. All right, let's get our plastic wrap. So there we go. I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap it up. All right, and we'll stick it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes, and we'll be back. All right, fam, welcome back. All right, so it's been about 37 minutes, but it's been sitting there. It's ready to go. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go ahead and quarter. All right, that's what we're gonna use. Go ahead and leave these three wrapped up. That way they don't dry out. All right, go ahead and put some flour down. And then put some flour on top of our dough. And just get the rolling. sheet. As you can see, it's getting there. It's a little bit warm. See my hands through there, so this is good. Now what we want to do, I just fold it up top. Just kind of just square it up a little bit. Just want to make little strips. And you can make these as big as you want as well. Kind of just shake them out. A little bit. Now the reason why you want to roll them thin is because, you know, it's dough, so it will absorb the water and get thicker. So. So they're really don't want to dry out too much. Let's continue. Break them up. Flour to it. Don't stick. All right. Now, like I said, you can also take this one, you kind of square it up, and you can run little strips, take them, pinch, little bow ties, kind of roll them up. Make little fat noodles, almost like panini. Like I say. Little bow tie. Choice is yours. So what we're gonna do, go ahead and knock the rest of these out. Then get over here to the hot water, and we'll drop, and we'll put everything together. Now, like I said, you drop and bring it up. You just kind of want to move it around just so it can break apart. It won't be sticking. Again, hot water. I got the boiling water. Got about a tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of olive oil in here. And again, these won't take long. You'll notice they'll most likely be done, even though you got to do a taste test, they'll most likely be done when they all starting to float to the top. All right, fam. Got everything off the pot, off the stove top. Got our pasta, our sauce that we made, part of the 4-part, and a meatball, which was number 1 of the 4-part series. So it's all coming together. We're gonna dive in here and taste it, but we're gonna let it cool off, and we're just gonna do a recap of the pasta that we did today. So basically, start off with 2 cups of flour, a half a teaspoon of salt, and then 3 large eggs. Put the flour down, make a little well, put the eggs in there, and broke up the egg yolk, and then just kind of whisk it around until we start getting it all incorporated, and then go ahead and put it together to a ball. Get our knead on, get a little exercise, kneading the dough for about 10 to 15 minutes till it's nice and soft. It's spongy, and when you push into it, it springs back. Put some olive oil on it, wrapped it up in some plastic, let it sit in the fridge for about 30 minutes. All right, then took it off, quartered it so we get into little small pieces there where we can roll it, make it easier to roll for ourselves. You do the same thing if you had a machine to roll it for you. It'll take a lot less time. So once did that, just kind of folded it over so I can get nice, and then rectangle it out so I can get nice even cuts. You can make the cuts again. You can make them bigger than you want, bigger than what I did. You can make them thicker, smaller, however. Cut in little squares, make little bow ties, or roll them up and make little paninis. So pasta dough, the canvas is open. You can do pretty much a lot of things with it. So dropped it in some boiling salted water with some olive oil, about a tablespoon of salt, a tablespoon of olive oil. Let that roar, boil. It went about 3 minutes. Once it comes to the top, let it go for about 30 seconds more. Still got to taste it. So we're going to just taste it, make sure the texture is what I want it to be. And then there it was. Pulled it out, drained it. Save a little bit of the pasta water. It's what you can use it to help thin out your sauce if your sauce starts to thicken up a little bit more. With the meatballs in there cooking in our sauce, it can thin it out. But if you don't have the meatballs, just add a little pasta water. A lot of times when you're in a restaurant, they'll put the sauce and water, some of the pasta water in the sauce right then and there. Then throw your noodles in, mix it up, and then put it on your plate. I save some of the pasta water if I store it, just so it can stay a little wet. Not much, not like filling them halfway. About a couple of tablespoons. Just so I have a little liquid with the dough, so when I do warm it up, it's still absorbing water, and I just throw it in some hot water to reconstitute it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. Kind of mix it up a little bit. Until it's hot. Now, you can, if you want to get a little fancy, you can, while you're mixing up your dough, you can put some parsley flakes in your flour or some basil flakes in your flour and just, make it a little fancy. That is very good. Truly good. Just the freshness of the pasta, the freshness of the sauce. I mean, it is very, very good. It is delicious. All those flavors coming through in that sauce, the garden vegetables that we did, the dough that we created to make this pasta is light. Give me another bite. here. Meatball. Again, the meatball is good by itself, but adding the sauce in it, of course, it starts to absorb all that sauce, the tomato flavor, things like that. It just intensifies the flavor and just makes it even better. I was about to say even greater, even more greater. Let's get some of the noodles and meatballs. Now that is a bite. I tell you what, this is a very, very good and tasty dish. Please try this at home. Shoot me an email, put it in the comments, let me know how it turned out for you. I'm Uncle Pawpaw. Appreciate you tuning in. I really do. I appreciate all the people who subscribe to the channel, who watching all the videos. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Been watching Uncle Pawpaw's Kitchen. All right.